Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some WildStar discussion. Today I'll be providing a brief overview of all 6 classes in the game. We're going to get things started with my favorite class, the Warrior. This is a close-range, brute force brawler that uses high-tech weaponry and atomic energy to close distances, generate threat, and bring the damage. He's got a power sword for close-range melee attacks and smashing people in the face, doing things like heavy strikes and whirlwinds. An arm cannon allowing him to do ranged attacks, grapple enemies towards him, activate a ripsaw, or provide personal shields. The class has numerous methods of keeping enemies close, such as snares, tethers, and knockdowns. It's a heavy armor-wearing class that uses kinetic energy as its resource. Generated by attacking and decaying slowly over time, he uses this as kinetic energy for his most powerful attacks. The warrior can fill the roles of both assault and tanking. Next up, we've got the Esper, a flashy telekinetic illusionist that uses his mind to heal and do damage from various distances. He's got Psi Blades, which are bladed weapons controlled with his mind, which he can summon multiple of, illusions that can be summoned as either harmful visions to damage or control foes, or beneficial dreams to buff and heal allies. This is a burst damage class with lots of crowd control and healing abilities. It has light armor and uses Psi Points. These are generated by casting builder abilities and consumed by casting finishers. The finisher's effectiveness will be increased based on the Psi points that are consumed. The Esper can fill the roles of healing or DPS. Moving on now to the third class, the Spellslinger, a highly mobile ranged assassin that uses dual blasters and void magic to skirt away from danger, hurt enemies, and heal allies. Its main weapon of choice are the blasters, or dual-wielding ranged attacks that can be used while standing still or on the go. He has sigils to modify the attacks to do things like CC, heal, or add extra damage. Void magic is used to teleport as well as displace enemies. This is considered the premier kiting class with plenty of slows, roots, and high mobility. The Spellslinger has light armor and uses spell power to increase the strength of abilities and focus to cast those abilities. The Spellslinger can fill the roles of DPS or healer. And sneaking out from the shadows is the Stalker, an opportunistic stealth melee assassin that uses speed, evasion, and a clever combination of abilities to perforate helpless foes. Main weapon of choice for the Stalker are the claws, which are close-range melee weapons for stabbing. He's got high-tech gadgets, which are used to keep enemies close with stuns, roots, and tether abilities. The nanoskin, which allows him to buff himself through heals, absorbing damage, even making clones, and of course, going invisible. The Stalker can focus on either ambush burst damage, controlling, or tanking. This is a medium armor class that uses suit power. This starts at full, is used for powerful attacks, and then regenerates quickly. The Stalker fills the roles of DPS and tank. Just when you thought you were dead, the Medic shows up, an ultra-high-tech, close-range hybrid healer and damage dealer. Primary weapon are the Resonators, which can be charged or channeled for powerful fields that harm enemies and heal allies. He's got Stations, which are persistent fields for damage and healing. Probes, which are AI scanners that can be attached to enemies or allies that damage, heal, buff, or debuff, and can be detonated for an increased effect. The Medic has medium armor and uses power cores, which start at full and are consumed with powerful abilities. Basic abilities will regenerate these cores. Leaving combat restores them to full. The Medic fills the role of healer or DPS. And lastly, we have got the Engineer, a heavy ranged tanking class that uses gadgets and bots to control and destroy enemies. Primary weapon is the launcher used to fire experimental projectiles at enemies, damaging them or calling in strikes. He's got bots, which are special pets that are used for tanking, DPS, crowd control, and healing. An exosuit, which can be activated to drastically increase its armor. The Engineer is a heavy armor wearing class that uses volatility resource. This is increased by basic attacks and used on powerful skills. The Engineer is a DPS or tanking class. And with that, we conclude our overview of the 6 classes in WildStar. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a game that I do plan to continue to cover as we move closer towards the NDA lift of the beta and its eventual release in 2014. So if you like what you see, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.